Have you ever opened up your bathroom counter and realized that you had way more products in there than you would ever use, and realized that you are wasting money on personal care items? I have a bunch of tips in this video to help you save money on these things and still have what you need in your home. If you're just meeting me, my name is 𝐂𝐎𝐋𝐿, and this is 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶 Legacy, where I'm most often teaching you how to save money on groceries. And we have over 700 videos here on the channel to teach you how to do that. But I'm also getting a lot of questions about personal care items and how I figured that out in the budget. So in this video, I am personally not sharing the different brands that I use. When you start getting to personal care items, they're personal, and especially when you're in like non-toxic, crunchy kind of lifestyles, people can get really judgmental about the things that you buy. So these are just tips that everybody can use no matter where you get the items that you're using. I have owned a housekeeping company for over 15 years, and I have been in hundreds of houses in all different income brackets and different lifestyles. And I will say that some of those things that I have learned watching other people buy products has made me make some decisions on how I reduce the items in my house. Now, we have lived in this house for 22 years, and there is only one main bathroom. I have raised my own kids and foster kids in this house, and so we have had to work out some routines to make sure that everybody could get ready and out the door on time. One of those things that we did is we keep our makeup and our personal care items in either a basket or a kit so we could take them out into another room and get ready. This is my makeup bag. It has all of the makeup in it that I actually own in this one bag, and it makes it super easy so I can just grab it and go to another room to get ready, or if I'm traveling and ready to leave the house, I can just grab this one bag. But I used to have drawers and drawers full of makeup at one time until I realized that there was actually an expiration date on makeup. And especially when you're getting into the more natural kinds of makeup, you need to make sure that you're paying attention to when you actually open the product and that you're not letting it sit out for more than a year. So with my makeup, I always make sure that I have like one bottle of foundation that I'm using, but I like to have one extra one on hand. And I know that I will go through 2 bottles of foundation in a year, so that doesn't bother me that I have 2 or 1.5 bottles of foundation at my house at all times, or black eyeliner. That's always something else that I make sure that I have an extra one. I don't want to be where I've put my makeup on and have one eye with eyeliner and not enough to do the second eye. So those pencil ones that roll up, sometimes you just don't know how much is in the pencil still. So anything that touches my skin, from skincare, lotions, makeup, anything around my eyes, I'm making sure that I'm using that up within a year. When you really start looking at your makeup that you have in your house and realizing how long ago you bought things, you can probably clean out a lot of clutter. If you've been following me for a while, you know that we've been in the process of listing our house and selling our house to move. And that process started way back in January when we started downsizing our pantry. At the same time that I was starting to think about downsizing our pantry and the food that we had in the house to use it up so we didn't have to move, I started also thinking about those personal care items that I had in the bathroom or in the hall closet. It seems like with hairstyling products, we end up like getting extras when we go to get our hair cut and people suggest them, or my kids will try things and then give them to mom if they don't like them. I don't know why I accept them if they didn't like them in the first place. So with makeup and skin products, I am really careful about watching when I opened it and if it is going to be expiring or need to be used up, because it can grow bacteria and I don't want that on my skin. I don't want eye infections. But with hairstyling products, it seems like those can accumulate a little bit more. I get gifted items, or I get tempted to want to try something new that might work better than something that I've already had. And next thing I know, I have too many different mousses and gels and different things that I could possibly use. So for the last few months, I have really made an effort to make sure that if I had 2 or 3 different kinds of mousses that I have bought over the last year or so, that I was using those up all of the way before I purchased anything new, and making sure that I'm going through the things that I already have. And sometimes you buy something and you don't like the smell or texture, or it just doesn't do what you hoped it was going to do. It is okay to get rid of those and not have the clutter in your house. So I do try to contain the hairstyling items all together in one basket that is over here behind me on this countertop. And this fits directly underneath my sink really easily. And I keep things like extra contacts and body wash, my mouthwash, but all of my hairstyling products are kept in that one basket. And I know that if it doesn't fit in that basket, I have too many on hand. So deciding what you want your space to look like is a great place to start with organizing your items. I know that I don't want things all over my countertops, and I want them put away, and this is how I've been able to do that. Another thing that I had encouraged some of my clients to do that had a lot of bottles and stuff on their countertops was to put everything in their cabinets, and then as they reached for things to want to use them, and then those were the ones that they knew that they wanted to save. And after a month or so, you really know which ones you are actually using and what things are being left behind that you're never going to use. Some of those concepts that I use when I'm buying food, I carry over to personal care items. Whenever I can buy things in bulk and it makes sense, then I will do that. So shampoo and conditioner, soap, body wash are things that I will oftentimes buy in bulk and then just refill the bottles that are in the shower. We just have one shower in this house, so it could get really overwhelming with all the different things that everybody needed. So when everybody was home, we all had a little caddy that we kept our own shampoo and conditioner in if we had different hair needs. And my rule of thumb is when I go to clean the shower is when I refill those bottles up. So I kind of joke that if those bottles are emptying out sooner, I probably need to be cleaning my shower more often. I have found over the years that I really like to have some extras at the house of things that we absolutely need. So things like toothpaste, I like to have 2 extra tubes of toothpaste on hand that are in the cabinet. And everybody knows when they take one of those brand new tubes of toothpaste out of the cabinet that they need to write it on my shopping list. The same thing goes for deodorant. We only go grocery shopping once a month, so this makes sure that I have things for that month and kind of pushing on to the next month also, so we never run out of the important things in our house. Earlier in our marriage, we went through a major financial crisis, and you can see that video when I'm talking a little bit about my chronic health condition. But during that time is when I really realized what the difference between a want and a need for personal care items were. So those needs that we always have in the house and made sure that they were available were things like soap and shampoo and deodorant and toothpaste. But wants were hairstyling products. And over the years, I've really kept our personal care items to those same categories. So things that are needs are things that come out of our household budget, and we will always make sure that we have them on hand. Now, the other fun things like makeup or other like high-end things that my kids might have wanted to buy, those came out of a personal care budget that we set. This is kind of the same concept that we use for our going out to eat budget. We had realized that we were spending too much money going and getting coffee or takeout, and we were missing out on those fun things as a family to be able to do, or date night experiences, because we were nickeling and diming our budget away. So we use that same kind of concept to keep track of things that are needs or things that are wants for personal care items. Some things in our budget never change. Our grocery budget remains the same at $135 per person. It changes through the seasons of our life, depending on how many people that we have living here at the time, but we've been able to stick to that grocery budget. And that grocery budget and our bills come out of Mike's paycheck. Those are the non-negotiables in our house that we always know that our utility bills are covered, all of our bills are covered, our 4 walls, and we have groceries. And this is where we sit down once a month and we decide what's left in the budget and how we're going to divvy that up into other categories, depending on what our goals are during that season. Looking back, I spend on average around $100 a month on personal care items, and I also round in the cleaning items with that total. Those are for the need items. And then those fun makeup purchases and stuff, those will come out of a different line on my budget. Looking back at my budget over the last 5 years, I would say I average right around $100 a month. Sometimes it's 80 and sometimes it's 110, but average would be about 100, which I'm spending on personal care items and any household items that I'm buying. When I'm at the checkout stand, I will use my debit card for my grocery account to buy the groceries, and then I will do a separate transaction for any other items that I need. We have been keeping track of our finances through a program called YNAB for years now. It is You Need a Budget. But there's also another easier free program to use, and that's called EveryDollar, which is a free app that you can download that's a little bit more user-friendly than YNAB. But however you're keeping track of your budget, either a spreadsheet or a notebook, it's really important to see where your spending is happening so you're able to save for those special things in your life. I hope some of these tips are helpful for you and make you think outside of the box how to declutter some of the items in your house. And as we are wrapping up filming here at this house, we are getting ready to move to our new house. And I think there's going to be a lot more cleaning type videos there.